Right, boys, welcome to our very first ConVARsation podcast. Are we all excited? We all look like absolute virgins that are just going to go on holiday. In between us, I think, would spring to mind. But great idea. I thought we should all get on a call, talk about football. We've got some, knowing you all like I do, we've got some controversial opinions, which I think will be good. And I'm sure with the content today, there's going to be some good discussions. So what we're going to talk through is top four predictions for the Premier League. We're going to talk about relegation. We're going to talk about mine and Adam's obsession in Marcelo Bielsa, and of course the mighty Whites of Leeds United. And then we're going to go on to Liverpool and Virgil van Dijk and our opinion on whether or not he has actually affected Liverpool's seasons and their fortunes. And then we're going to pick our England 11, which I'm going to go through and what we'll go through individually. So let's kick us off. Top four. Leeds out nowhere near the top four. We still get top four just. But
next season, mate. Next season.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a bit of a stretch. So currently we've got City running away from it, 71 points. We can all say that they're pretty much done and dusted. United, i.e. scum, 57 points. Leicester, bloody hell, 56. Chelsea, 51. And then we've got West Ham, Tottenham, and Liverpool. And then we'll say Everton could get in there first. I think for me, I personally think Liverpool. I know you can see the flag, but I think Liverpool will sneak in there. I think they've got a lot more. I think the other teams personally. I think they'll do it probably with either the second to last or last game of the season. I think it's going to come down to that. Looking at the fixtures anyway. I'll go to Tom W. What do you think, mate? I don't think you'll choose Liverpool, will you?
I'm not choosing Liverpool, no, mate. But that back line, I'm sorry that they aren't getting top four. I think they're going to go for the Champions League, aren't they? They've got Real Madrid. I think they'll beat Real Madrid, and then I think they go Chelsea. So I think that rules them out top four. Nice. I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I think Leicester are going to bottle it, and I think West Ham will catch them. And there's 7 points in them, but Leicester's next two games, they've got Man City at home. Everyone loses to Man City. Then they've got West Ham away. So they lose those both, and West Ham get 2 wins, goes to 1 point. So I think Chelsea will finish third, and I think West Ham, they got momentum. They've got everything going for them. Yeah, they just drew 3-3. But there's a feel-good factor. So I'm going to go West Ham for European football for the Hammers. Who would have predicted that?
West Ham.
Chelsea have got a very hard fixtures right at the end of the season. I think, is it the last 5 games? The playing teams right at the top there, aren't they? And I think they might just struggle right at the end of the season. If they get to the Champions League final as well, they'll have the head turn with that. So I personally think Liverpool get top four with Leicester. I thought Leicester would drop off with the injuries, but Iheanacho's picking up form right at the right time.
Yeah. Looking at when you look at the fixture list now, you've got, West Ham on paper probably have the easiest, run of games towards the final, like the final run of games. So, when you look at it, Leicester got some tricky games. Chelsea have tricky games. With West Ham's, momentum, like we say, going forward, I think that they stand a very good chance of pushing in there, if not, pushing on that edge.
Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, I sort of think it's going to stay as it is now. Me, I can't convince myself that West Ham are good. I just can't let it go through my head. So I can't. So Chelsea have picked up since Tuchel's come in. It just shows how shocking Lampard was, to be fair, but. It's all right. They're not, yeah.
I had to get that in.
I had to get that in there. It's all right. But yeah, mate, look solid defensively in that, don't they? And then West Ham look right in patches, but then look at that Arsenal game, man. Arsenal aren't good. They're not a good team. No one convinced them they're a good team, and they've crumbled with them. I can see getting towards the end of the season, the more people who are tipping them for top four, a bit of pressure on. I just can't see it.
And the thing is, with Fabinho moving back into centre midfield as well.
Mate, look what I'm getting there, mate.
Mate, Fabinho moving back into centre midfield.
No.
It's literally, the last 3 games, it's sorted us out now.
Yeah.
It's not happening, mate. It's not happening, mate. It's not happening.
I think, with Chelsea, I just think, one, they're not scoring enough goals, personally. And I just think West Ham, Tottenham, I look at Liverpool and I just think, I just back them. I think they've gone for obviously a rocky period. Hopefully they're coming out of that now. They've got the Champions League obviously to focus on, which you could see as a bit of a distraction, but it's momentum in it, I think, personally. And I just think I think Liverpool will get there.
And Nat Phillips coming in form right at the right time as well.
Yeah, but what about Chelsea? Chelsea though, Tuchel, they're not conceding shots. They're not conceding goals. You can see like the amount of clean sheets they've had, and they've just beat Atletico Madrid, who are top of La Liga over two legs. The next four games, West Brom at home, Crystal Palace away, West Ham away. That's the big E. Fulham at home. They're getting 12 points there. They're getting 12 points, or they might get 10. They are looking.
But then what are the next
season?
What are the next?
Yeah, they're solid. Mate. They're solid.
Yeah, but that's the 4 games, and in between that, they've got Porto in the Champions League. No disrespect to Porto, but the way they're playing football, they just beat Liverpool at Anfield. They just beat Atletico Madrid both home and away.
Who hasn't beaten us at Anfield?
Yeah, I know. Everyone's beat Anfield. I mean, even Brighton did that.
Hey, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Tuchel, mate. You book Chelsea in the top 4. No one's catching Chelsea. They look scary, and that proves that Lampard had an amazing squad and didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, well, we all hate Frank, don't we?
Should we do one of these forfeits?
Yeah. What's the 4? We go. You go Liverpool. I go Chelsea.
I'm going Liverpool, mate,
and I'll go Chelsea.
Yeah, but
Tom, that's brave, mate. That's brave.
I'm backing myself.
We're thinking of a forfeit at the end of this podcast, all right?
Yeah, we are. All right.
Fine. Right, to the bottom of the table. Obviously, we know Sheffield United get in, and West Brom, our Championship rivals. They're done and dusted. 14 and 18 points respectively. I think the interesting point, and one of their fans is with us right now. But we've got realistically Newcastle and Brighton. I can't see Burnley getting dragged. You look at the table and they're there. With a couple of losses, but I just think they've got too much.
What about
in Chris Wood? But I just think Brighton, Newcastle. I personally think it will be Sheffield United, West Brom, and I think Fulham will go down. I don't think they've got. I think they played good football against Leeds the other night. I think they played okay and they played better than what Sheffield United or West Brom are playing at the moment. But I just think they don't have enough going into it. And Newcastle, I know they've got Maximan and who's the other guy they've got out? Callum Wilson and the
Isaac
Hayden.
That's it. Yeah, they've got those out. I still think they've got enough to stay out personally. But what do you guys think? I'll go to Kieran. Go on.
I mean, I've what I've put down here. I've got Sheffield United and West Brom. Like pretty much, the whole country would go. I think although Newcastle have got a game in hand on everyone else. I mean, it's looking like they're easily. Brighton, I think, as much as I would love to see Brighton go back down, they're probably gonna stay up. Just about as they do every year, where they're just differing in that bottom area. But I just don't think. I think Newcastle is just boring defensive football. Teams are going to go there now for the rest of the season and just go at them, knowing that they're not going to attack back. They're just going to sit back and defend all game. So if you're going there as in a bottom half team, you've got to go and attack. What's the point in going there and sitting back? They're not pushing forward. They've got all these, all their attacking players are their best players realistically. But they're not using it. Steve Bruce is lining them
Steve Bruce is useless.
Jump in there. I'm going to another controversial. The next 7 games of Newcastle, their game in hand, Spurs at home. I don't think they'll pick up a win. They've got Spurs, Burnley away, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester, Man United. Next 7 games.
Yeah, that's
Newcastle, they're going down because the last 2 games, you've got Sheffield United at home, Fulham away. Fulham are hard to beat. You never see Fulham lose 3-4-0. They lose by 1 goal and they're defensively sound. They've got to get 2 points from Newcastle. The fans are all against Newcastle. Mike Ashley, I think, secretly wants to get the club relegated. I don't know what's going on there. Steve Bruce is nowhere near good enough.
No.
And also, Kieran, we've never been relegated from the Premier League or at Brighton, so just need to remember that, all right? Only 7 teams that have been relegated from the Premier League, and we're one of them, okay? Yeah, we didn't get there for a long time, right? But we know we relegated. No, I think we'll be all right. I think we're just about to be okay. And there's one more team to think about. Southampton.
Yeah, I've got
33.
well.
They've won 1 game in 12, and they're getting pummeled every single game. I know they beat Bournemouth in the FA Cup 3-0.
Yeah.
They're getting their defense. They move like chess pieces. They're defenders. They can't move. They just do this.
Is Danny Ings still injured?
Yeah, he's still out. He should be back maybe, I think, soon after the international break. So they'll be all right because they're on 33, but they could be dragged into it if Newcastle. But where are Newcastle needs to unless they beat Spurs at home, I can't see it. I think they're going to go on a horrible run, and I think they're done. Unless I think I would go Newcastle for me.
I think it's very close between Fulham, Newcastle, and I think Brighton, only because the games you've got left.
Yeah.
You've got playing Chelsea, United, Everton, City, and Arsenal in your last 9 games, aren't you? So I think they could possibly get dragged into it, but I do think Newcastle will go down. I think because they're just terrible. They're not even fun to watch. Whereas at least Fulham are fun to watch a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think.
So you're going for Brighton, Newcastle
will go down.
Yeah, I think Newcastle as well, mate. Definitely. Like, they're just not playing for him. Like, they don't care. I just get that impression. They've got the fans there. If the fans there, it might be a different story because they get a decent crowd then probably. But I'm just not playing for Steve Bruce at all. And Fulham at the minute, they look like they've just started sort of playing for Scott Parker a bit now. Yeah. I think like the start of the season, they didn't really do anything, but the minute they seem to be sort of buying into it. I know they've got a couple of decent results in the last sort of few weeks. Nothing convincing, to be fair. I think they just scraped past Sheffield, didn't they? They beat Liverpool at Anfield, but everyone did, so it's fine. So it's not too difficult at the minute, is it?
That famous 4-3 win by Leeds at the very first game of the season.
What we say? Do you reckon? Go on.
No, sorry, go on. Sorry.
Do you reckon that Newcastle Fulham last game of the season? Do you reckon anything on that?
I was just about to say that. I do think, just off what you boys have said, I think that I'm definitely watching it, but I think it could very well, and we all want that because it's football. Do you know what I mean? We want to see.
Definitely. As long as Brighton aren't involved, because we've got Arsenal away. So long as we're done, 40 points, I don't care. I do not think the Emirates need something.
Fulham have got hard games as well. They're playing like Villa, Arsenal, Chelsea, United in the last 9 games.
Yeah. So, how many points do you reckon you'll need to be safe this year? Do you reckon?
Fulham's on 26.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they're more 35, me. Yeah, I was going to say 35.
You never know. The problem is the great escape. Or something always happens. Like we're writing off Newcastle.
Yeah, it does.
They're going to beat Jose Mourinho on the return, and suddenly we're back in it. Southampton, Burnley are back in it.
Yeah, exactly. Who were
it? Close in it.
Southampton, like Southampton, if they get another win, that's 36, and we've just said that it could be anything. It could be 35. It could be bloody 40, and Leeds still out there. One more point. But yeah, I think that last game of the season, I think it's going to be I think it is going to come down to something. Someone's going to be dragged into it, and it's going to go into that. I think whether it's Fulham, Brighton, or as we said,
it'll definitely go to the last 2 games, I reckon, at least.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no one's going to pull away far enough, are they, to be clear by then? I can't see anyone picking up enough points to be clear by then. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. Marcelo Bielsa and Leeds United. We couldn't not kick it off with having some Marcelo Bielsa and Leeds talk, and I can see Kieran's face already.
Kieran, he's bored already.
I think I look back actually. You saying that, Kieran. I remember. I think it was 2 years. Yeah, was it 2 years ago? Me and Tom were out. We were at Primworks, and I think you stuffed us 3-1 at that point, and that was the start of the Leeds United. Typical downfall that season, and I didn't want to know we were absolutely gutted that we missed out to Derby. But I think I just go back to Marcelo in that first game against Stoke, where we'd been playing we'd be finishing 12th, playing some absolute shocking Route 1 football, and then the magician. He just comes in and that first game against Stoke, I remember it. I was sat at my parents' house and I just thought, what is this? This isn't Leeds United. Whatsoever. Possession based, absolutely. Battering teams, possession shots. Everything. And I think from then on, we kind of never looked back. And I think for me, and this is a bold statement. I think he that's one of the biggest turnarounds ever in football ever. Personally, go on, Tom. Go on. From where we were 12th to where we are now.
You had a Bournemouth. Bournemouth, they went from League 2, League 1, Championship. Eddie Howe took them all up. You got backing, you got fans. It wasn't
but that was over like a while. That was a building plan. The guy came in, and in 2 years.
How long was Ranieri at Leicester?
I don't know.
Before he won the league.
No, that was his first season. Pearson did the great escape. They sacked Pearson. He then won the league, and they sacked him half the season after that. Surely that's a better than Bielsa. I'm not saying he's not done a good job, but I'm just saying if you're talking about a short period of the biggest jump, surely Leicester from where they were to win the league the year after. Surely that's
bigger. No, fair. I think obviously I'm biased. Been a Leeds fan, but I just think I get Leicester, and that is mammoth. I think, but for me, and again, I'm obviously biased here, but I think just the transformation from what we were seeing to what we've got now, and playing people like Liverpool, not off the park, because that wasn't the case, but competing with Man City, that game was touted. Do you know what I mean? It's just huge.
Leeds have done really well this year. The telling point will be if you can keep it up next year. You know what I mean? The second season is always the one where you can tell whether. Yeah. Look at Sheffield United. They won it last year.
Well, we're different, mate. We're not Sheffield.
Yeah,
mate.
I'm going to compare. I'm going to hurt Leeds' feeling here, right? I'm going to compare you to another team, all right? So your next 7 games are awful. You have your next gig. You have 1 good game next, and your next 7 are shocking, right? Yeah. You lose 50% of football games you play. 50%. You only draw in 3 games this season, right? I'm going to compare you to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, Eddie Howe played great football, and it was lovely. Mm-hmm. You've conceded your 15th. Your 5th. Sorry, for the most goals conceded. You've conceded 47 goals this season, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I know you might say Bielsa's a genius. No, you attack, and don't get me wrong, it's paying off. But every game you play is a lottery. You win or you lose. You go to Old Trafford, you lost 5-2. You go somewhere else, you might win 3-0. You play Brighton, you lost 1-0 because we're a better team, obviously, but we keep the ball, we move you around. But no, don't get me wrong, Leeds are a good team. But Bournemouth, I took a stat from Bournemouth. I looked at when they had the season before, they finished 11th, and they won 50% of their games. The year after that, they then dropped off massively. Obviously, and last year they got relegated. Don't get me wrong, Bill. Atkins made a great point there. The second season is so much harder. How can you concede that many goals with that back line and think you're not going to get a second season?
We've also got like 9 clean sheets as well, which is what I think it's like the 8th most in the league, maybe. So I always think we're good going forward, but we're easy to beat. When we go like 1-0 down, it turns into 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, or whatever.
How can you compare? Well, I don't want to keep bringing up the Sheffield thing because Sheffield are in the same ballpark. But compared to what you said, so we've had the 3rd most biggest chances created in the Premier League. I think only City and Man United. I think City or might be Man United. 4th in expected goals, and I get the defence part.
Don't mention expected goals with Brighton fan, right?
Yeah. And I just think I get your point on that, and totally that is one thing we need to sort out in terms of our defence. But you can't tell me that obviously you could compare us to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth went shit, or they had a season where they almost got relegated, then they finally did. I'm not saying we're above all that, but I think when you look at how we play and how we attack, there are a couple of tweaks in defence. I think we've had 7 different partnerships at the back. 7.
I think it's 14. It's more. It's 14, mate. It's 14.
7.
It's 14, mate.
Yeah, Liverpool.
We've had 20, mate, this year. Okay. 20.
All right, 14. And I think
Leeds on 14, mate. But
14 different partnerships at the back.
Exactly. We signed we signed Llorente, and they've both been out for pretty much all season. Llorente just getting a couple of games in now. Yeah. We didn't get Ben White, which was probably our best player last year. And we got robbed.
He had to put that in there as well.
He wanted to play for a passing team.
Even, like, mate, he wanted to leave, mate. It's your gaffer, mate. What did he say at the start of the season? He's like, "Oh, we're going to be challenging these. These are our like direct like survival rivals, mate. We're fucking blowing you away." So it's a nightmare, isn't it?
But let's see you in the second season. Right? Second season. Yeah, but I was going to say the Bournemouth as well. They finished on 45 points, and the year after they got relegated. So if you finish above 45 points, I think you had a good season.
The way I see it, Leeds beat the teams that we're supposed to beat. I think. Yeah. So as start is like the teams below us. We've took 24 points out of a possible 27. Like it's only the Brighton game that we've lost. So we're just beating who we're expected to beat, and then having a good crack at the big teams, which is been good for me. You know what I mean? Good to watch. It's nice and enjoyable. It's nice to see a team come out and attack and not just like sit. Like it's so boring, just sitting back and just, you know what I mean, defending and still losing 3-0 anyway. Like you know what I mean.
At what point does Graham Potter start getting criticised though? He's playing good football.
Yeah.
But obviously Leeds and Brighton both play obviously.
Do you know why I don't think we can get criticised? Because you go back to the expected goals. It's literally not Graham's fault, like Graham Potter's fault. Did anyone see that funny Twitter that all the things we missed? Like, literally, our strikers are allergic to scoring goals. I don't know what happens. Like, we missed. When we had West Brom, we missed 2 penalties. Connolly puts it over the bar. Connolly's having these illegal like parties back at his, and what he's up to. Basically, Graham Potter, the reason he's not getting any pressure, I'm not going to say he's a genius because obviously Bielsa's here and he's obviously a genius, isn't he? But I'll tell you now, if Brighton can actually sign a Callum Wilson, that would just go and knock it in the empty net. We should be pushing up. But I was going to back to the Bielsa thing. I was going to answer your question. I was reading today that they had to convince him to stay this season. Apparently, he doesn't want to commit his future, hence his short-term contract. The rumor is next season, if he does stay, it will be his last season. If he continues, are you not a little bit worried about if he does leave? I
did put a point on just as a thing here that I think of all the good stuff I've just said, and I want to go back to the fact that I may be blinded by the fact that I'm obsessed with Leeds, and I do take that into account. And one thing I'm worried about is who's going to take on from him. I think, before Pochettino got the, I know you think I'm crazy, got the PSG. I think let me finish. So obviously we didn't know what was going on. Obviously now he's got the PSG job, but in my mind I thought someone of his ilk, not necessarily him, but someone, for instance, if he was out of a job, so Marcelo Bielsa stays next season, he's out of a job, Leeds finish, I don't know, top 10. And I'm thinking, Marcelo Bielsa and Poch know each other. He looks up to him. Leeds aren't short of cash, as in, we could afford it, specifically if we have a couple of consistent seasons in the Champions League. But someone like him,
are you still going to have the cash? Are you still going to have cash next year? Because if you didn't get promoted, weren't you going to be in trouble?
We did. Get promoted,
but we did.
So it's right.
Yeah. But I'm saying, will that money not be gone next year?
No, so I mean, I listen to like other like Leeds United stuff. Like, I think money-wise, they're completely sound at the minute. I think that promotion is the teams that go down this year are going to struggle massively now with all COVID and stuff like that. But I know the owner was paying the players' wages out of his own pocket last year to get Leeds promoted and stuff. So obviously sort of paying him back as well. But so the Bielsa staying, he'll stay next year. I'm 100% confident he'll be here next season. Just his comments.
Sorry, go on, Adam. I think he will be here.
Sorry. Yeah, it'll be here next season. The way he's talking, he sort of said, basically what he said is, because people, obviously, every interview he does, everyone asks about if he's staying or not. And he basically said, look, you should wait to the end of the season to see where you are. You don't want to sign me up now and then regret it, basically. He's very modest like that, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
But he'll be here.
Kieran, do you have an opinion on Leeds?
I've got plenty of opinions on Leeds.
You sat there all quiet.
I just sit here. This is what I feel like. This is what I do on a weekly basis. But it's instead of it being from Sky Sports News, like hailing Leeds, the messiahs of football, the saviours of the Premier League, it's now Ryan I'm listened to instead. Like really. Yes, like you've done a good job this season. Like for you, the reality was this season staying up. So you've overachieved in the sense that you're already,
Adam told me you're getting top 4.
We're getting Europe in 2 years, mate. 2 years, we're getting Europe. Watch your space, mate. Watch your space.
You'll have no
finish
season, so that'll be another problem for you anyway. When you the type of football that you copied anyway from the Championship days and just copying football. So now, you know, when we play next season, we'll see the difference. But I mean, you know, like Bielsa's obviously done a good job. Like you've said, like you touched on the points that you were playing shocking football before, which I would agree with, was, you know, playing shocking football. And now, you know, just like Norwich was, you know, a couple of seasons back where it was all about the attack and you know, the tactic was just to score more goals. Don't worry about defending. As long as you score more, you know, you come home with the points. But now, you know, you are slowly, it does seem like you're slowly changing that style. Like Bielsa is, as much as he wants to act like this stubborn guy that's not going to change and he's doing this, you know, you are defending deeper now. You are, you know, lining up for games with a little bit more defensive mindedly. But I just don't see why, you know, everyone just claims them to be this exciting team and it's like quality team, because you're not. Plain and simple, it's just it's not. And yeah, maybe my bias, because I really do really hate Leeds, but I just don't see it. Oh, I can't see it.
But where though? Why can't you see it? Why can't you see it? So to come back to the
not Brighton. Norwich did play good football. They just Pookie stopped scoring and they were just leaking goals.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know, that's a similar sort of problem that Leeds have got at the minute. They stop score, they don't score as many goals at the minute, playing more defensively. The problem with Norwich is when we came up last time, it wasn't supposed to happen. So I know, as much as you all laugh.
5-year plan, yeah.
The 5-year plan. Now we're at the end of the 5-year plan. We're coming back up, and we'll see you next year. We'll talk about this when we're spanking you all.
With the goal stuff, we've got. I don't know if you looked at the goal tallies, but Mr. Bamford, second highest England player.
Bamford
is he second highest? Yeah, but the thing is,
that's English player.
English, I said English.
Yeah,
like how can you not look at that and think that's someone that was in the Championship that had a ton of chances, scored some goals, but missed more, and then this season he's just
still missed a lot.
He still missed a lot.
He's got the same shot conversion rate as Harry Kane, though.
Yeah, I know, but he still missed a lot. I think I saw he's had like something like 14 big chances missed or something.
Yeah.
Well, I get that, but 14 goals in the first Prem.
Don't get me wrong, he scored some absolute crackers. He scored some great goals as well.
He's not just. I do think he's not just about his goal scoring as well. To be fair, Bamford, he has to do that running for the team. But that's one thing about Bielsa. I think he's made our average players a lot better.
Yeah.
If you look at when he first took over, look at like Calvin Phillips wasn't even getting in the team, and now a couple of years later, he's got England call up. So it just sort of shows what he's done with that. Like, you know what I mean? That core. It's still the same core team, really. No, obviously, we've had some decent additions now. We've got promoted. They've been pretty much injured all season. I've got Rafinha on the wing now as well.
Yeah,
Rodrigo's been out most of the year.
Yeah,
but I think if we just keep people fit, get a new couple of key signings next year, mate, we're on the up.
I think as a go on, Kieran.
In all honesty, do you think that, you know, this season is what it is now? But in all honesty, do you think what do you think you're going to do? Are you spending more money next year? Are you building up like through?
Yes. Yeah. So apparently there's 5 signings lined up. Apparently there's what I hear on the Athletic. 5 players looking at. Yeah. So we've got the cash, mate.
You say you got the cash. That's Rafinha, isn't it? Rafinha's going to go. That's 40 million.
He ain't going. Rafa mate.
Yeah.
You're going to need 6 signings because Raf's coming to us.
No, see his Instagram post the other day banging about loyalty and that, mate. He's staying, that geezer. He's staying.
I think just to back that, I think back the again. Obviously, you don't know what to read in the newspapers, but in terms of like backing and funds, like, you know, the San Francisco 49ers own a big chunk of Leeds United. A person that's connected to YouTube, very, you know, really high up there, is connected to Leeds United now. So, you know, it's no shake man so, but it's a team that we're going to get the Premier League money, 100 million or whatever it is, plus the other investments that we've got. So I don't know who we're going to sign. Who knows? Everything's always changing, but I just feel with the new investments, I just think we will spend another 100 million in the transfer.
The thing is, though, with Bielsa is that, as I say a few things, is that I think even if Rafinha stays, I look at your starting 11, and Harrison's got about 5 or 6 goals a season in. Rafinha, let's say 10. Bamford, obviously, looking forward to his England call-up. He's playing, right? I know he didn't get him, did he? But The thing with Bielsa,
Robbery, that.
he doesn't rotate. Bielsa doesn't rotate. He plays the same 11 every week. So I don't know what you boys think you're going to do with 100 million, because he's not dropping Harrison, he's not dropping Rafinha, he's not dropping Bamford. You average about 1.5 goals a game, and it is fair, like Kieran said, like not honourable, and like Aki said, you have been found out a little bit. Like there is a template now how you play Leeds. Like it's very, very like they're going to outrun you. You drop back Bamford. He's actually pretty quick. Actually, he's much quicker than I expected. Yeah. And he's missed some big chances, but he scored. He's good in the air. He's actually quite a powerful striker. But if you put him against a 3 at the back, or you put him against anyone with a bit of pace, where's your pace? Like I know Harrison's a bit explosive, but you're playing so many games. Unless Bielsa's going to start rotating.
Have you watched Rafinha? Have you watched him? Oh. and also in terms of investment, Jack Harrison will be part of that 100 million because we're going to sign him from City, and he gets all over the park. But I think our main investment is going to be in the midfield. Click, he's out of his depth sometimes. He's lost the field, and most of our goals we're literally cut open through the middle in terms of midfield, especially if Calvin's injured or not about. Calvin will be there and he'll be our CDM. Yeah. But we need
what about left back?
A new left back last time because Alioski's got off to Galatasaray, isn't he?
Your goalkeeper? I'm sorry.
I rate him, mate. I rate him.
I do know what? His decision making is horrible.
Yeah, he's a great shot stopper.
Yeah.
But I do get nervous when he gets the ball. And like, I get more nervous when Calvin's not on the team because Calvin seems to be his out ball. But when he's not in the team and that's not there, he panics, I think.
Yeah.
But
now, where you found out so badly, as soon as any team puts the high press on and presses you, you lose the ball every time.
Yeah.
I think we'll see, Kieran, when you come up, and we will see, and we could be looking back at this and thinking we were right. I don't think it will, but yeah, I think we should.
Fundamentally, we're still the same championship team, pretty much. There's one or two. Obviously, we've had one or two decent additions. So just keep building every year. A couple of new players every year, mate. Build that Premier League quality and the way they play. And then it's always that question when Bielsa goes, what the fuck we're going to do? Because I'd build that man a statue now, mate. Honestly.
Yeah. Right. As much as I would love to talk about Leeds United forever, let's move on to the big man himself, Virgil van Dijk. Mr. Atkins, I'm going to go to you, mate. What are your thoughts on the injury? Do you feel that if he'd been around, he's not dead, but if he'd have been around, would your season be a lot better?
Oh, 100%. But there's so many factors. At first, I thought it was the knock-on effect from Virgil van Dijk and Gomez being out, and Matip, Fabinho having to drop back, and he started off well there. But the more games that goes on, there's little games where his concentration's been lacking, and we miss him in midfield, and then Thiago's having to do Fabinho's role, and it's just been a mess. And then I thought it was going to be the defence, and then the strikers just stopped scoring. The confidence just went proper low, and it was just been terrible, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think he is a Rolls Royce. He's like the finished article of Ben White, isn't he? He's just an absolute Rolls Royce.
But before Van Dijk got injured, I think he played something like 60 or 70 consecutive Premier League games. Like getting injured, like it's just been an ever present, and we missed him like massively.
I think, and again, I don't think it's Virgil van Dijk. I think it's the other stuff. So it's the Fabinho, the Gomez. I think if it was just Virgil, I think you'd have managed. I think it's the fact that your midfield has been playing a raw back in defence for.
Yeah.
I don't personally think it's just Van Dijk. It's obviously him because he's an absolute worldie. But I just think it's you've just been struck. It is the old injury. I think you've been unlucky personally. Tom?
Yeah, can I jump in? I think weirdly, what I find strange is that this season is going to be a weird season, right? You've got a double the amount of games. Man City have 4 quality centre halves. It's Stones, Laporte. They bought Diaz in. And they got Garcia, who's not shabby. They also brought Ake in. They have 5 centre halves. Liverpool let Lovren go. They only have 3. Matip does 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. He's on the best shift pattern going around. And then Gomez's injury record actually isn't great. So it was almost like you're defending your Premier League. You've got Wednesday, Saturday. It's almost felt like you were sort of setting up to fail a little bit.
It's the owner's fault, massively. Like, it's definitely the owner's fault. I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, Virgil van Dijk has missed literally like no games since he's been with us. And then we had a pre-season game, and two youth players sort of played well. And then they thought, right, okay, we'll be able to put them in. Because anyone next to Van Dijk, he can just talk him through the game and he can still do all the sweeping for him. And then obviously we had Fabinho, and he said, right, Fabinho could be our 6th choice centre-back. And that was the thinking. And as soon as the transfer window shut, it was like, right, Van Dijk injury, Gomez injury, Matip injury. It's just endless.
Yeah. I think the sort. Yeah, go on, mate.
No, I was finished on that. I think also with Trent as well. Not Trent, sorry, Van Dijk. The way they can't press Liverpool. Liverpool is such a good pressing team. They've had to go 5-10 yards. But Van Dijk is quick. He's lightning. So him and Gomez were literally up there. Fabinho was there, and they were nicking that ball final third. Salah and Mane was devastating. And now, when we played, obviously, I don't know if I mentioned when Brighton beat Liverpool. I mentioned that. What I found also, like his aerial presence, like when Liverpool got a corner, I was celebrating. I was like, well, that's another minute wasted. Like, Liverpool can't score corners now. They can't score corners. Also, everyone underestimates Virgil van Dijk's like spread of the ball. He spread it to Trent on a sixpence every time. The Mane goal. Do you remember the Mane goal against Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich, yeah.
And it's out of that, like you've got a centre half that's literally, you've got a centre half that's pinging balls like this. He's probably one of the best centre halves we've seen in the Premier League, and his communication, everything.
There's clips like when we press so high up, like Virgil van Dijk's like past the halfway line, like pressing as well. But now, obviously, we've got like Nat Phillips and like Kabak who aren't as quick and don't know the proper Liverpool way. So everyone's pressing him, and there's that gap. But I do think, and the reason why I brought Thiago in is because a lot of teams are just sitting back against us. And to beat Liverpool now, you sit back, you're going to get a good chance, and you better score that. If you score that, and Liverpool miss an easy chance, you're going to win. And Fabinho going into that middle has let Thiago be going a little bit more forward. And you've seen it in the Champions League. He's played so much better, like having that like free roll instead of having to do the defensive work and having to give fouls away and tackling. Like just let him do his own thing, and he's just been a lot better, Thiago.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, go on, Kieran.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey,
Are you aware?
Listen.
We're talking about Virgil. Like everyone said, like when it comes down to players like Van Dijk being missing, I know it's it'd be criminal to suggest that injuries to these sort of players don't affect that sort of environment, because a player like Tom said, a player like Virgil van Dijk is probably massive in that changing room. Like, I mean, I've seen some videos around like the training grounds and things like that as well, and he is like a big character there. It's not just him that's injured. That like everyone said, one man doesn't change it. Like you see, people can fill in gaps, but there's obviously a lot of factors why it's not going on. He's no Grant Hanley, but it's
yeah, no.
Who?
It's the Scottish Maldini.
Jesus.
Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, obviously it's a big miss, but I don't think that I think there's a lot of reasons why Liverpool have been pretty shit this year, to be fair. It's not obviously, I think there's a big miss, but then at the same time, having the other centre-backs out as well, it's actually just unfortunate timing, really. I think it's, like Tom mentioned, it's pulling Fabinho and pulling Henderson back into, into centre-back position, which stops that press, because I think Hendo's quite loud in the middle as well. I always feel he's the sort of person sort of instigates stuff. And then also a couple of centre-backs when you're losing your midfield now, and then you're losing that going forward, you're losing the press in it. So I think it's a bit of a compound as well.
We were fine until 2021.
Yeah. Well,
we beat Palace 7-0.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think momentum for you.
And then 2021 happened.
As soon as you lost that game, as soon as you lost that game at Anfield, that first game that you lost, that's been it, mate. It shows how much that confidence and momentum has carry you through.
But
it's crazy.
At the same time as well, and I know it's the same for the majority of the teams, but no fans at Anfield as well.
Yeah, it's another couple of points. You know what I mean? 5-6 points. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Right, Liverpool champions next season then, Tom?
If Van Dijk's back, yeah.
If Van Dijk's back. Right, we'll move on to the England for the Euros. First of all, before we get to the selections, do we think we're going to win it?
No,
Absolutely not.
I really do.
Go on then, Tom. Atkins, sorry.
Well, mate, we're favourites apparently, 9-1, I think, or something like that. I saw today. But with Southgate, mate, not with Southgate.
I just think he is very. He can set up very negatively when we've got such potential, up top. I just think he could fit, some of the players in a lot better than playing two CDMs. But I'll go through my team, and then I'll get your opinion. I think it's pretty. I think mine's pretty. I think you'll have some controversial comments. I'm presuming around Mr. Phillips. So I'll start with him. I think Calvin Phillips CDM, and I'll get out to it. Don't worry, Tom. Hendo's in there, but Calvin Phillips, I just think for me, his range of passing is better than Rice. I think he covers the.
What formation are you playing here? You're playing two CDMs. You just had a
go
at
Gareth Southgate. No. Let me finish. Right. Some formation
We're
is.
out to get you here. We're out to get you here. What's the formation? Start by up front.
4-1-4-1.
4-1-4-1. Okay.
So I've got.
So where have you got Henderson up front?
Listen to my thinking. So
he's playing the way Leeds are playing.
In net, we've got Pope. I think Pope's.
Yeah, agreed.
Pope's the number one for me. Left defence is Shaw. Centre back Maguire with Stones, and then I've got Trent on the right. Calvin Phillips CDM, and then CM. I've got Foden, Hendo, and then out on the right. I've got Sterling. I've got Sterling on the left, and then I've got wait for it.
Have you done it?
Rashford. Rashford out there. I think he's just got the legs, and then Kane up top, of course. So what do you think? Where do you think I've gone wrong there?
Awful team.
Really?
Hate it.
I'd be right at the screen if I was seeing this. That's all.
I mean, how Mason Mount isn't getting in there? He's been Chelsea's best player, and you're going to play two CDMs, and we've just complained about Jordan Henderson and Calvin Phillips getting back in Leeds. All right, shoot me on the plane.
Henderson's not a CDM though. He's a ball-winning midfielder.
He's not going to score goals, is he? Like you only need Henderson or Rice. Like you think about it, England this Euros are the favourites. The only team that can beat England on paper is France, I would say. So we got to be going for these teams. Like it should be Rice, Mount, Foden. We're going to attack you. How are you going to get the ball for those three players? They're playing Champions League.
You say Mount. You say Mount.
He's carrying Chelsea.
I disagree.
Didn't he score against Liverpool? I don't know. I'm sorry again, Atkins, but didn't he just score that world against Liverpool the other day? Like he's absolutely. I've got Chelsea fans. He's been their best player by miles this season.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, he's been carrying that team. Like he's the only. They just said today he's the future captain.
Yeah.
Any room for Grealish or not?
I think on the bench. I'd say I don't like him. That's why I think my selection there was I was just doing it to ruffle a few feathers because I knew that would get him the lead player.
You haven't heard mine yet, mate. You haven't heard mine.
And I thought,
can you guess who's got right back?
But I think we'll go for Tom. Warren, we'll go for yours. So Tom's gone for 4-3-3. Yeah. He's gone. You've put Henderson in there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why I went Henderson in goal, and I'm going to tell you why. Right, Nick Pope is a great goalkeeper, but we've all played five-a-side. Yeah, when you play with your friends, you're confident, right? Nick Pope plays for Burnley. It reminds you that his biggest game of the season is like you boys. Like, what would it be like? Man United. Henderson just went to San Siro, kept the clean sheet. He's had 7 clean sheets in the last 9 games. He's just took De Gea's place. If he makes one mistake, it's social media, it's Twitter. Not been horrible to Nick Pope. He had a stinker the other day. He conceded the worst goal. I bet no one saw it unless you saw the highlights.
Front post.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes, did you see it? You saw it?
Yeah.
But when Nick Pope makes a mistake, it's like, but he has 10 shots, so it's Burnley. I promise you, when Rob Green let it go under his legs, if we stick with, and Nick Pope is a great goalkeeper, but Chelsea didn't sign him. He will be an amazing goalkeeper, but Henderson's got pressure. We need a goalkeeper that is used to pressure.
How can you be England #1 when you're not even your club's #1?
No, he is. He's played the last 8 games.
Yeah, but only because De Gea's out.
Not
I know, but he's not Stonewall. But De Gea was on the bench for Leicester. I mean, he gave paternity leave for 3 or 4 weeks. It tells me that next year De Gea's gone his wages. They're seeing Henderson's #1. The guy's got like 14 clean sheets in 16 games.
Yeah, but he might be United's #1 next year. But the Euros are
he's now. But he's now. It was only Paul Scholes saying yesterday. He was like, Henderson's #1. You can't change it. And that's I know. Yeah.
He's only been told that he's been given 6 games, and he said right, you're gonna have 6 games as #1. And then we'll see where you're at then.
Okay, of course, it's hypothetical. But if he loses his place in 2 weeks' time, of course, then you're looking at Pope.
I do think he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's good for Sheffield United last season.
Yeah. I think he's got huge potential. I just think he's not got the England experience as in senior. He's not got, he might have played.
Hasn't even. Yeah.
I think Pope's got more experience generally than Henderson. In the top 5.
Yeah, but what's Burn? I know this is the Burn. It's like I know, right? He's in Brighton, mate. Like you like Robert Sanchez gets a cap for Spain for De Gea, but not vulnerable to Brighton, Burnley. You've not got big games. Like if he knocks De Gea off his perch in 9 games, and the whole way, he's got to be. We need that experience.
Let's be honest. Southgate's going to go with Pickford, isn't he? If he's fit.
Eric Dyer will be in there.
Right.
Will be.
As much as we want to talk about the goalkeepers, we will move on. So Tom has gone for Shaw left back, Maguire, Stones, Trent. I think that's going to be a recurring theme. That Rice, CDM, Foden, and Mount. I just don't think I think they get bullied in the middle. You need Hendo in there, even if it's instead of Foden or Matt, whoever. I think you need Hendo in there. One is he's got the Liverpool captain. He's got the most experience. I'd say out of that, obviously for sure out of that field. I just think
why? But why though? Who are we going to play? Who's a good football? Who in the Euros? This is our best ever chance. Who's going to outplay us? Name a team that's going to outplay us.
I just think you need that experience.
Surely you need Henderson in there to talk people through the game.
Yeah.
But mate, Rice at the moment, I do. You could. I wouldn't want to swap Rice to Henderson, but we've got to be going to win these Euros. Like we can. You don't see France do that. They play Kante and they say Pogba. You go and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have the 4 decent players like Sterling, Kane, Rashford, or Grealish, or any of these players, and then Henderson just behind them trying to sweep up stuff, and then Rice or Phillips behind. In front of the back 4.
Yeah. I get it against France, but if we play, we got Scotland. Like if we play Scotland with 2 CDMs and we draw 1-1, it's just a waste, isn't it? It's waste of a generation again.
Yeah,
of course it is. Yeah.
Fine, and then the top. So for the front 3 was Sterling, Kane, as obviously his captain, and same as me as Rashford. So I'm going to go to Kieran's. Let's get Kieran's up. So Kieran's gone for Pope in net, Chilwell, which is a good shout, I think. Maguire, Stones, Reece James over Trent for me.
But Trent, I mean, the reason I've gone with this is this season, players like Chilwell, Cresswell, Shaw. On the left, there you've got 3 players that are all in there that could be contenders. Like Cresswell's got 7 assists this season. I know it's for West Ham, but 7 assists, there's nothing to be sniffed at. When you look at Reece James, he's playing in a good Chelsea side, like we said. He's solid on the ball. He's good going forward. If we're going to play a defensive, Gareth Southgate's going to play defensive. So at least if we've got some wing backs that can attack, that would be.
You're going to say Trent can't defend, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm not saying Trent can't defend. I'm
can't defend
football this year.
Yeah, I think, and in midfield, you've gone for 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1. So you've gone for the Gareth Southgate 2 CDMs. So you've gone for Hendo and Rice. I think for me that's too stagnant. It's just too flat. I just think we need more fluency in there. And I think too negative.
This is me being realistic. Not we can all want 5 men up front. We've got some of the best footballers. We can all want that, but this is me looking at a realistic setup that Southgate's going to play. Yeah. And I can't do the lines of where I want Reece James and Chilwell to be moving, but we.
So we don't.
Go on.
No, go on. You go.
I was just going to say, I think, I don't know. I just don't like how it's just going. But yeah, fair point. If he's going to pick that, fair enough. Tom, you going to say something?
I was going to say, you're picking Chilwell over Shaw.
It's a tough one for that, to be fair. Like, I looked at all three. Chilwell, I just like as a player. Again, a good passer. Shaw, if it's on form right now, Shaw would probably get in anyone's team, to be honest. Cresswell, he could, if he wasn't 31 years old, he'd probably have a shout in there as well. Yeah. But it's just a difficult one. When you're looking at the England team for the Euros, to be honest, it's almost irrelevant. You don't really want to talk about the defenders. You want to get straight into
fair point.
Fine. Onto your attack. So interesting one. I think in a couple of years, I could definitely see this for sure. Grealish, Foden a bit more advanced, and then Sterling. Is that how the formation's gone, Kieran? It's going to Ram, Cam, and Lam. That sort of. So, yeah. And then Kane. I think Foden is going to be an absolute baller, isn't he? He's
going to be unreal.
He's
going to be unreal.
Man City already. He's playing in an unbelievable team, probably one of the best team in the world at the minute. And he's, sometimes he looks like the best player on the pitch. So he's going to get bullied off the ball and all this, but he's not getting bullied off the ball for Man. I know they have the ball all the time, but we dominate the ball for England. We are playing against teams in Scotland. But I'll be surprised if they get a touch for the first half.
Yeah, fair enough.
Brian Hanley at the back.
Right. Adam, so Adam's team's gone for similar to, not similar, but in goal. There is Leeds in there. So obviously you got Henderson in goal, Maguire, Stones, Chilwell on the left, Ayling on the right, and I think,
mate, it is criminal that Luke Ayling is not in that England squad. I'm sorry, but it's just criminal, mate.
He's not the top 10 right backs.
He's not got a single.
Right. Let's just
he's not got a single stat
in the Premier League this season. He's out of defenders in the Premier League. He's got the most ball recoveries. He's won the most total goals. Got second most tackles. He's the second most in progressive passing. Mate, he's great going forward, and he's good at defending.
But the reason why these stats are so high, the reason why these stats are so high is because your games are end to end.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, mate.
If you've got someone running it, he's still doing the job 100 times in a game, you've got to tackle him more than other players, ain't you?
But the way my England setup is a bit more attacking than it's ever going to be, to be fair. Anyway.
But Luke Ayling doesn't have a single assist or goal this year.
Oh, mate, he got robbed. He did get robbed of a goal the other day, to be fair, though. He did get robbed.
Oh, that was good header of his. But who does he replace him? Who's your second right back?
Oh, I didn't know whether to go keep him more defensive. I still like Wan-Bissaka. I know he's very defensive. He's like an old school right back. He's good at defending, but he don't do anything going forward. And then it's going to be Trippier, potentially. I was going to put in there, to be fair. Trippier over Trent. But
you're doing this for fucking bites, mate.
I'm not, mate.
Yeah, you can see us just going. I'm going now.
Top of that.
No one's even mentioned Carl Walker.
Yeah. Good stats though there, Adam. Good stats on Ayling. Good stats.
Saw it on Twitter, that's why.
Yeah, there you go. So into his midfield, Phillips, CDM, then he's gone, so it's 4-3-3, then he's gone Grealish, Foden. Again, I just think not enough meat on the bones, i.e. you need someone like Hendo in there for experience. And then it was close, to be fair, and Sancho to mine, because I was thinking about Sancho, but Sancho on the right, Kane, and then Sterling. I think that is just formidable in terms of the I think Rashford could play either side, and it will come down to form. I think the different players out there, but on his day, Sancho could be, up there with one of the best players in the world.
Kane and Sterling definitely going to be in the top three, the front three. It's just who you play with it.
Because what I was thinking, I chose Phillips over Rice because I think Phillips plays on his own in CDM. Rice sort of has Souček with him most of the time, so that's something I'm thinking of. That he'll play on. Phillips is better on his own in that space. I think when they tried to play Phillips and Rice together, it just didn't work. You know what I mean?
Wasn't
one
that against
is too
Iceland?
defensive again into the way. Yeah, but it doesn't matter who it's against.
Rice carries.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he does very well. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
Rice has got the highest percentage of dribbles, hasn't he?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but when I've got Foden and Grealish in front of him, I don't need Phillips to be doing that.
Is Grealish a centre midfielder? He's played left midfield all season.
So I put him in centre mid, but I know Southgate will play him left wing if he plays him anywhere. He's already said that, and if he plays, he wants to play left wing.
I don't think
that was the only question. I don't want to leave him out of it though. So I don't know whether swapping Grealish for Sterling and taking Sterling out for a more solid box to box centre mid, if you see what I mean. So he hasn't been great. Not really.
Sterling, he got dropped. He got dropped the other day. Sterling, he's struggling.
I put him in because of who he is. You know what I mean? And he can be good, but that's the only question I had: is putting Grealish on the left wing, and then putting a bit more of a box to box midfielder in there. And let Foden just do his thing because he's just different grade with that kid, mate. So
Fine, fair enough. So we'll move on to last but not least, Mr. Thomas Atkins. So he's gone for a 4-3-3. Is that how you meant it, Tom? 4-3-3? Because I know some.
It was supposed to be It's supposed to be 4-2-1-3.
Right. Okay. So he's gone for Pope in net. Agree personally. We've gone for Shaw, left back, Maguire, Stones. I think they're definitely dead, sir. 100%. They're going to be the two. Trent on the right.
I've gone for Trent because obviously biased to Liverpool and that. But the thing is with England is they play completely different to the way Liverpool play, and sometimes obviously Trent doesn't perform to his Liverpool standards in England. But if they can use Trent well, he's England's best right back. If you use him correctly, he's our best right back. And with Harry Kane, who can score any type of goal, I don't understand why they don't just fucking. Oh, am I allowed to swear on this?
No way to start.
I don't understand why they don't just whip it and just fucking. It's done it again.
Yeah.
Do you not think Harry Kane's has been dropping really deep this season though as well? I don't know how that's going to go for it. I don't know what he's going to be like for England. You know, because I always feel like has he got that? I don't know.
We have the ball, don't forget, as Tottenham.
Yeah, it might be good though with Harry Kane dropping it, and then with Rashford and Sterling from the forward, because that's what Son does, doesn't he? Son literally just runs past him, and then you just knock it over the top.
Yeah. Fine, and then into midfield. So you've got Rice, and not as a seat, on the left. Grealish a bit forward, and then Hendo. So what you're saying them as midfield or two CDMs?
It was a tough one between Rice and Phillips. I think. I think Phillips is better on the ball.
Yeah.
But I think Rice is a bit more mobile than Phillips. Obviously you got Hendo in there. Hendo and Rice will win. They'll chase the ball down and they'll win it, I think. And then Grealish, no one knows whether Grealish is a left wing or a cam. But I think with him just trying to link up play with Sterling, Kane and Rashford, and then if Maddison can go, you got Maddison, you got Foden, you got all them to come off the bench.
Yeah, okay. And then up front, again, same as me and I believe Tom Warren, Sterling, Kane and Rashford. Interesting. I think, what do you think the result's going to be of the friendlies? Do you think these are pointless friendlies, or do you think, not friendlies, but sorry, we've got friendlies coming up, haven't we, actually?
It's World Cup qualifiers, isn't it? World Cup qualifiers.
It's disheartening. It's disheartening. We're going to play.
I think the timings.
The time is awful, but it's going to be so disheartening when he plays Mings every game. He's going to play like horrible, like players. Eric Dyer is going to get run out some probably. He's just going to lose all confidence. He's going to play 3-4-3. We're going to leave these internationals thinking, I'm going to waste my summer. But I can't believe Mings is. We've picked quite attack teams there. It's just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
It'll give us where we're going and what style we're going to go with, because at this point now there's only I think 5 games until the Euros, these 3, and then there's like 2 friendlies after that. So surely he's going to want to implement some sort of system now. If he's got the players now, I know a few are injured and we're going to have to miss a few, but if you've got some of these players that are going to play that position, surely you don't mess around with it now. You're not going to. What's the point in messing around with it at this point? If you know what you want to play, just play that style. Unfortunately, it's going to be 5 at the back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Nice.
Just as a final thing, I guess on this, and then we'll finish. What I thought we'd do is a bit of a prediction where do you think we're going to finish in the tournament? So just first, second, third, fourth.
Give us the formation. What were we saying he's going to play? Were you saying he's going to play 5 at the back?
I don't know. I think he'll play 4-2-3-1, where he's got four across the back, 2 defensive midfielders, you know, three of them, and then Kane up front. But,
if he picks like our teams, like we've all pretty much gone 4 at the back.
Yeah.
Then I honestly think if we avoid France, we should get into a final. I think that's minimum. Avoid France, and there's no country that should be touching us.
Yeah. What do you think then? So are you going? So I'm gonna highlight these, and we're gonna review them when at the end of the tournament. So
we're
Warren,
semi-final.
Where are you going? You get semis. Okay, semis. I'm gonna go with. I think we'll get to the final. Adam. Is anyone going to be bold and say we're going to win it? That's the question.
No chance of that. I was thinking quarters, me. I can see him just getting it all wrong. He's just going to get it wrong. I just know he's going to get it wrong.
You think quarters as well?
It all depends on who we get put up against. If we get put up against any half decent side, we'll get beat. If he plays like how he's been playing. Because the World Cup, we lost 3 games. We lost against any half decent side we played and sort of scraped through the rest, really. Yeah. Like, we didn't play well. We just everyone got carried away with it, and it was amazing. And you know what I mean. But at the same time, if you look at it without my England glasses on, mate, it wasn't anything special, really. I don't think.
Yeah. Kieran, finally, you, mate.
I'm going to be bold. I think
if we win it, it's going home.
All it takes. I mean, I know we had a really, really kind run against the World Cup, and realistically, with what we had, we should have been there. But you know, when you look at our group stage, we've got Croatia in there. But once you're past that, easy. Not really anything to worry about. But, you know, don't get me wrong. If the first knockout game we get France, then I'd probably start to, you know, squeaky bum time a bit. But if we can get a good run of results, and you need that momentum picking up, like if we can get a good run of games, everyone's playing together, the camp's all going well. I think, you know, with the players on that list, how can you not get to the final?
Yeah.
Where's the final at? Is the final in England?
Wembley, isn't it?
Wembley. If you get semi-final, semi as well.
If you get an easy run of games and get to the final at Wembley, anything's possible. To be fair, but you got to get decent.
Oh, I've got goosebumps.
I'm still going quarters. But just saying, I can be optimistic as well. But
fine, cool. Well, just to kind of, I guess, finish. I think, as I said, I think what we should do is, whether it's the Euros or whether the Prem comes back on, I think we should get a couple of beers and watch the game sort of live if we can. If you know, and I'll watch it on on the internet, so I'm not ahead of all you boys that are on the old internet, and you in Spain, Thomas.
You can share. Maybe you can share the screen. If you share your screen, then we can all be on the same screen. Otherwise, someone will be cheering.
Tom, what's the forfeit then? You found the forfeit anything?
Yeah. What do you want to do? Give. What's our forfeit going to be? Wait, so you're saying Liverpool will finish in the top? What we saying? I'm saying Chelsea. You're saying Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What if we both get in?
I think for the fun of it, and Tom, Mr. Warren, you know how much I love charities. I think you should donate to a charity of the other person's choice.
Okay. All right. Super. £10. Happy with that?
£10.
Yeah.
If they both get in, Ryan will donate. Okay.
Yeah.
everyone else does.
Exactly. Well, I think just to finish, just to remind you, we'll review it on the next one. But your Super Six. So just a bit of a reminder: we've got Bristol Rovers, Sunderland, Hull versus Gillingham, Wigan versus Ipswich, Peterborough versus Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Milton Keynes, Doncaster, Shrewsbury, and Portsmouth to finish off. And I think they're very non-exciting, but they're more your cup of tea out there, Kieran, down that edge of the league table.
I would love to see Ipswich get spanked by Wigan, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
there's not any exciting games in that, but I think
it's pride. We'll keep a tabs of it, and then at the end we'll crown a winner, and there'll be a prize to be confirmed. So that's it, boys. First podcast. That wasn't hard, was it? It's quite easy. But yeah, I'll send the invites out for next week, and we need to pick a game. Remember to watch. But it's been a pleasure, boys. I'll see you soon.
This is where you go. All right.
Are you gonna end the